Communist Manifesto, written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, has been quoted and referenced for over a century. Within its pages contains the cultural revolutionary call to action of the communists worldwide. However, with all its fame, how many people have read the manifesto? Today we will attempt to summarize the manifesto so that both those that oppose and those that endorse communism will have a better understanding of what the manifesto proclaims. The manifesto is broken up into four main segments. 1. Bourgeoisie and proletariats. 2. Proletarians and communists. 3. Socialist and communist literature. 4. Position of the communists in relation to the various existing parties. We will briefly review each section and summarize key points within, but for one to fully reach a conclusion, it is important for the individual to read the manifesto for oneself. The first section of the manifesto, Marx makes the claim that all social classes eventually fall into the camps of either the bourgeoisie or the proletarians. The bourgeoisies come from a series of revolutions in the modes of production. The new modes of production and the goods that come from it convert nations and barbarians into the world of the bourgeoisie. The manifesto claims that cheap goods batters down all Chinese walls and compels all nations to become bourgeoisies themselves. The bourgeoisies destroy the countryside and force all individuals to cities to increase production. It has brought too much civilization and forced destruction in its path for its conquest of new markets. The proletariat are the working class and only live so long as they find work, and they only work so long as their labor increases capital. The new machines that come from the bourgeoisie's industrial revolutions take over the proletariat's skills and force the proletariat to become an appendage to the machine. Becoming an appendage to the machine makes work and productivity increase, while wages and dignity of the proletariat decreases. This causes the proletariats to become slaves to both the bourgeoisie and the machines. Machines make individuals, sex, and age meaningless. The individual only needs to be able to operate the machine. As the machines become more efficient, it will decrease the value of the tradespeople and shopkeepers, and they themselves will join the ranks of the proletariat because they will not be able to compete with the machines. Skilled laborers can fight back by burning and smashing machines to try and bring back value to their labor. But soon, all labor, no matter how skilled, will be taken over by the machines, and by doing so, all skilled individuals will join the ranks of the proletariat. This will bring more and more skilled and enlightened individuals to the proletariat, and in doing so, increase its strength. In the end, all social classes become proletariat, and the class gets stronger. Because of this, the bourgeoisie are producing their own gravediggers. The proletariat will become so large and enlightened that victory for the proletariat is inevitable. Communism's goal is the formation of the proletariat into a class, an overthrowing of the bourgeoisie's supremacy, and conquest of political power by the proletariat. Communists are the organizers of the revolutions and instigate the proletariat's uprising. In this section, Marx proposes that capitalists have both personal and social status in production, and the laborer only lives to increase capital. The manifesto claims that the family needs to be abolished and replaced with social education. Marx claims that family education is already social. We just don't accept the reality of parents being influenced by society and then passing those values onto their children. The communists also seek to abolish countries and nationalities because the laborer has no true country. Furthermore, intellectual ideas change due to social understanding and time, so communism abolishes eternal truths such as religion and morality. At the end of this section, the manifesto lays out 10 ways to measure the transformation of a country into communism. 1. Abolition of property in land and application of all rents of land to public purposes. 2. A heavy progressive or graduated income tax. 3. Abolition of all right of inheritance. 4. Confiscation of property of all immigrants and rebels. 5. Centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of a national bank with a state capital and an exclusive monopoly. 6. Centralization of the means of communication and transport in the hands of the state. 7. Extension of factories and instruments of production owned by the state, the bringing into cultivation of wastelands, and the improvement of the soil generally in accordance with a common plan. 8. Equal obligation of all to work, establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. 9. Combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries, gradual abolition of the distinction between town and country by a more equitable distribution of population over the country. 10. Free education for all children in public schools, abolition of child factory labor in its present form, combination of education with industrial production. In the third section, the manifesto puts socialist and communist literature into 3 categories. 1. Reactionary socialism, consisting of feudal socialism, petty bourgeoisie socialism, and German or true socialism. 2. Conservative or bourgeoisie socialism. 3. Critical utopian socialism and communism. The manifesto's main critique of these literatures is that they fail to completely overthrow the bourgeoisie. Marx states, although the originator of these systems were in many respects revolutionary, their disciples have, in every case, formed mere reactionary sects. They hold fast by the original views of their masters, in opposition to the progressive historical development of the proletariat class. According to the manifesto, the only true way to overcome the bourgeoisie is not to negotiate, but by means of strengthening the proletariats and the revolution. In the final section of the manifesto, Marx describes the groups the communists work with within the major countries of Europe. In France, they ally themselves with the Social Democrats. In Switzerland, they support the radicals. In Poland, they support the party that insists on agrarian revolution. In Germany, they fight alongside the bourgeoisie whenever it acts in a revolutionary way against absolute monarchy, feudal squirearchy, and petty bourgeoisie. But it always seeks to stir up the working class against the bourgeoisie whenever the possibility presents itself. The communists around the world align themselves with every revolutionary movement that rebels against the standard social and political order. The manifesto ends by calling all communists to action, stating, "Let the ruling classes tremble at a communist revolution. The proletariats have nothing to lose but their chains. They have a world to win. Working men of all countries, unite."